guys, Allie here from Champagne and Coffee Stains, and this is week 2 of my Chicago Marathon training update. This week was continuing to do my base building like I mentioned last week. I think the real marathon training is going to be kicking off in a few weeks with longer runs. But this week was really exciting because I got to try out some new gear, and I will go over with you some of the new things that I'm going to be adding into my training in the next few weeks. So before I get too far, be sure that you like and subscribe. That way you can stay up to date with all the updates. And then I also know that you like the content too. So last week, I think I ended the week, and if you see me, I'm going to probably be looking at my phone because my coach uses Training Peaks, so it's a little bit easier for me to remember exactly what we did. I'm working with a coach from Run for PRs. Her name is Megan, and it's really helpful to me because I'm a busy mom. I don't have time to even think about training plans, things like that. So it's nice. She puts it all on my phone every week, and I'm just able to pull it up and know what to do on the different days. So I'm going to take a look. I believe we ended the week. Let's see. We ended the week last week at 39 miles. This was a little higher than I anticipated, and I'll kind of go through that in a little bit. So Monday was my strength training day. I am doing a strength training program that is 2 days a week. It's called Mass Resistance. I really like this program because they're total body workouts. It's about 45 minutes. It's a program that you can buy online, and so I have access to all the videos. And basically the Monday workouts and the Friday workouts are each week they're the same, but they kind of build on each other. And I really like that because I'm more of a runner. Strength training, I've done Orange Theory, I've done all the workouts, and I know the basic moves, but when you get me with a bunch of machines and things like that at the gym, I just get very confused and a little overwhelmed. So I really like this workout because it's basic dumbbell moves, as well as there's a video that goes along with it. And it's total body, and I'm really sore the next day. So to me, that is an ultimate win. So I had that on Monday, and then I also did a 1 mile run before that. And then on Tuesday, that was my strength work, or my, that was my easy run this week. Usually Tuesdays are more of a workout, but Tuesdays and Thursdays are usually my speed or hill workout days. And so last Tuesday, we actually kept it easy. It was an easy 6 miles. And then at the end, we did some strides with it. So that was a really nice one. It was actually nice outside, so I was able to get outside for it, which is always one of my favorite things to do. Wednesday, this is a little different because I used to be doing a 3-day-a-week strength training program, and I recently switched to the 2-day. And so this one, I had to do an easy 3-mile run, and then we did foam rolling. I will admit I didn't actually get to the foam rolling part of it, but I do have the Normatec boots, so I was able to use those later on in the day, as well as I was able to just kind of stretch and relax a little bit. That's something that I really do need to get better at is foam rolling. I never make the time, as I have a foam roller in the background there. It's one of those things that I never make the time for. And I know I should be doing it, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's a runner thing where you just never focus on it as much as we should. So I did that. And then it was also a nice day. That's kind of why I was more outside as opposed to inside foam rolling, and so I was able to get in some walking miles too. So that's kind of why in the Training Peaks app, my walking miles also get merged with my running miles. So I think all in, I did hit the, what one did she call for? I think it was 36 miles I was going for last week, or 33 planned. And I hit those with the exception of an extra 2, which I'll get to in a little bit. But my walking miles are also included in there. So then Thursday was a really fun one. Thursday was a speed workout. It was a 10K speed workout. And again, this is one of those that on paper, it looked really, really easy. But by the time that I hit one of the intervals, I was like, wow, this is tricky. So it started with a 1 mile warm up, and then some strides, and then a rest for 2 to 3 minutes. And then the workout was running 5 1 mile intervals at my 10K pace. So for this, let's see if I wrote it down. Yeah, so it's between 8:20 to 8:35. And so in between each of the intervals, I had a 2-minute rest. And what I did was I tried to stack it where I started my first interval closer to 8:35, then slowly made my way down to 8:20, which It was a lot. I will admit, like the first few felt great. So the first two, I was like, okay, I can bump it up a little faster. I can go a little bit quicker now. But once I started to get closer to the 820 and I was on like my fourth and fifth interval, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this to be done. My legs were very sore at that point. And it was overall fun, but it was definitely a more challenging workout than what I thought it was going to be. And then I just had to cool down to 7 miles, which ended up only like being a like 0.2 cool down once all was said and done, because I do include the miles that I'm walking in between the intervals into my total mileage. So it ended up being about 7 miles altogether. And then for that one, I still prefer doing my long runs on the Peloton tread, or my workouts on Peloton tread. I just really like it because if I'm outside, I don't like to have to focus on like, okay, I'm only going to be at this pace for this amount of time, or I need to make sure that I'm on a flatter road or a flatter area when I'm going to be hitting these sprints or these faster runs and things like that. Usually if I'm outside doing these workouts, it ends up me doing just a whole bunch of loops where I know it's going to be flat because I live in a very hilly area. So I just like to do the Peloton tread because it's the fastest way for me to work out, and time is the most important thing for me right now. So I just hop onto the tread. I do a 15-minute workout. So I'll do a 15-minute warm-up with a Peloton instructor. My warm-up miles are usually about 11 to 12-minute miles, and then take the cool down, do my strides, and then I'm ready to hop into a 60-minute class. My favorites are Beck's classes. I really like her marathon classes, especially the marathon prep ones. And what I'll do is I'll just follow what my coach tells me, and I just listen along with the workout. So if they call for incline, if they call for different paces, I kind of ignore the instructors, but still do my own workout. And that's kind of the funny thing, is that when you really start marathon training with Peloton, especially in the Beck's Beast group, you kind of notice that people do that too. They kind of just use her classes as their base, and they don't actually follow the cues 100%. And that's kind of what her endurance runs also would encourage too. Because there's just something about being with a community while you're doing your long runs, as well as when I'm doing my speed workouts, I will often get very distracted with trying to like figure out what music is playing, if it's not the right one. I get all in my head and distracted, and I'm not focusing on my workout. Whereas when I have Peloton on, I have somebody else has set the music. I'm listening. I have distractions. It's kind of like I'm running with a friend on the treadmill. So for me, it works out a lot better than if I were to do it on my own, and it makes time go by a lot faster too. So I think I'm going to probably keep doing my speed workouts at least on the tread for now. It just seems like it's a lot more efficient for me. I know it's not the best for mimicking outdoors, and I should learn pacing, but I think that that's going to naturally come as I'm getting more outside to do races and even just runs in general. And I'll get into another type of run that I had later on that I did outside. But I think like for these like little bursts with little breaks and things like that, I think that those are going to be okay to continue doing on the treadmill. But we'll see. I'm going to bring it up to my coach and see what she thinks. And if you have opinions on it too, I would love to hear in the comments as well. So that was Thursday, I believe. Yep, Thursday. And then got outside to walk too. So 7 miles all in for that day. Friday again was my strength training class, or my strength training program. So that was week 2, workout 2, another full body one. That I think the workout 2 is my favorite of the MAPS program. The most surprising and challenging move of it is we do overhead dumbbell walks. So you have to walk 30 steps one way, 30 steps back, with the dumbbell held up the entire time, each way down. And that one surprisingly is like really tricky for me. I feel that one a lot more the next day than I thought I would, because it looks like such a simple movement, but it's actually like really effective. And something I've been challenging myself altogether with this entire program has been each week I want to try to increase my weight by like 5 to 10%. So first week I started with 15s doing that. This week I got up to 18s, and it went really well. I didn't lose any of my core strength or anything like that. I wasn't hunched over, because that's something that I'm really mindful of, having diastasis recti, just making sure that my core is engaged at all times and I'm not slouching or anything. And that went really well. So that was a fun workout. On Saturday, went ahead and did 5 miles. That one was an outdoor run. And something that I've been noticing that has been a little tricky with my outdoor runs is that because I'm used to the treadmill and being able to set my pace, when I go outside, I go a little bit faster than I probably should, because with Run for PRs, they practice slow running. So think like 2 to 3 minutes slower than like your fastest mile times and 5K times. So usually my slow runs are more towards like 10:30s to 11:30s. And it's hard when it's outside because like I'll monitor my heart rate. I'll make sure that it stays underneath 155. But it's hard to be outside and not to just go faster and not to like push myself, or not even like I'm not paying attention half the time. And I don't have a treadmill to slow me down. So that's something that I do need to work on. But I have a little bit of time, so I will get there. Sunday was really cool. In the morning, I decided to go to a last minute event that was at my local running store, and they were having Hoka, the shoe company, was there, and they were doing demos of the shoes and with a fun run. And I'm normally a Brooks girl. I've been running in my Brooks for the longest time. For long runs, I do Brooks Glycerins, and for my shorter runs, I do Brooks Launch. I alternate between them, and I've been loving them. But Hoka, I've been very curious to try them. I like the design of the shoes. I'm noticing more and more people wearing them, so it's been something on my to-do list. And at the event, they actually let you do a fun run in the shoes, which I probably wouldn't recommend going out with a brand new pair of shoes and doing 2 miles. I would break it in a little bit slower. But the loop was right around the mall, so it was easy. If it didn't feel right or anything, you could easily just step off and walk back. It wasn't anything too far away. But it ended up being about 2.5 miles, and I ran in the Hoka Clifton 9s, and I really liked them. And conveniently, when I was there, my glycerin started to develop a hole right where my toe is. So I'm like, it is probably time for me to get new shoes. So now I'm trying to decide if I stick with my glycerins or if I go to the Hoka Clifton 9s. I really like the Hoka Clifton 9s and how they look. The only thing is that even after talking to the Hoka rep, I was learning more about the foam cushions inside of the Brooks and just how advanced that technology is. So that's where I'm tempted to stick with the Brooks, but then when I talk to other runners, they're like, oh, well, I always alternate between all these shoes. And so that's where I need to decide. It's kind of crunch time too, because next weekend I'm going to be running just for fun, a half marathon. So I do need new shoes because my glycerins have a hole in them. So that's where I'm tempted to maybe I just stick with the glycerins for now, just to weave them into my training this week. And then later on, I'll add in a Clifton 9s just to see how they feel. But we'll see. So that was kind of an extra 2.5 miles that I did in the morning. And then that afternoon, I had my long run. It was a 10-mile progression run. And that one I did outside. I went out a little bit later, so it was a little bit warmer. And I didn't fuel properly. I totally forgot to put my Tailwind into my water. So I only brought my water and 1 gel. And it was very, very humid, and I'm not used to that yet. But overall, it felt really good. I kind of gave myself a little bit more of a break because I was like, if my splits aren't negative, it's not going to be a huge deal. At least I'm out here getting in my long run on a very hilly course that I went. But after I got into the groove of things, it was actually easy to maintain my progression run. And with the exception of like 2 miles that were all uphill, I actually was able to get negative splits during the whole run. So I was pretty happy with the results of that. And I think that really shows me that I think I'll be able to balance my treadmill training as well as my outdoor training if I stick with my treadmill just for those speed workouts where I need to like just increase the pace only for like a half mile, 1 mile, and then bring it back down. Whereas outdoor runs are definitely preferred because of the terrain and just the different feels and everything, and it's most realistic to the actual course I'll be running. So I think I'm going to continue to mix the two together, but we will see. But more excitingly, so potential gear change with adding in the Hoka Clifton 9s, still deciding that I need to go to my running store and kind of just feel them out a little bit more, as well as maybe there's a new Brooks shoe even that I would love to. So I need to go there to figure that out. But I also did get a new Garmin watch. So I got this is the Fenix 6S Pro, which was on crazy sale this week. It was actually on sale last week, but I think it's still going to be on sale through Mother's Day, where the tan version, the one that I have, is about $400 off. So I wasn't originally in the market for a new watch. I was very happy. I've been using a Garmin Venue as well as a Coros, and I was happy with it. But when I saw that sale, I couldn't get past it. So I've been breaking this in for a few days now. Initial thoughts are I do like it. It looks exactly like my Venue. And that's exactly what I was looking for. It's a little bit more clunky. I'm not used to, this one doesn't seem to have a touch screen, whereas my other one had a touch screen. So it's just getting used to that. But it gives me a lot more stats than what my old watch was doing, as well as its solar power. So I guess every time I'm in the sun, it actually helps charge it too. This thing is supposed to have like a month-long battery life. I don't know if I believe that, because I charged it on I think Monday, and it's already down to 48% because I've been using it every day, and it's only been like 3 or 4 days. So that's where I'm not 100% sure yet how the battery life is compared to like the other watches, but so far I'm happy. It is bigger than the other watches I was wearing, but it's, when you actually have it on, it's not as noticeable as I thought it was going to be. So I do like it so far. But we'll see. I'll post a full review once I've had a chance to play around with it. But yeah, it was funny. I was using it for the first time at that fun run, and I was like, I don't even know how to turn this thing on. I don't even know how to like start it for my run or whatever, because like on my other one, I just click on the screen and be ready, but you have to hold down a few buttons, and then I had to program it to set like, do I do trail run or outdoor run or treadmill run, or like all these different options. And I'm like, I just want to do a basic run. How do I do that? So it's a little more of a learning curve than I thought it was going to be. But overall, I'm feeling really great. It was a really fun week of training. This week is going to be really fun too, because I have a race, and race weeks are just always so fun. And I'll post a new video once that's complete too. But overall, I'm feeling really good about training. I'm excited to see ramping up, and I'm eager to see too. This is the first time that I'm entering into a marathon cycle where my base building has been so strong, and I'm already up to mileage and easy runs that I was doing during almost the peak of my marathon training last year. So I'm excited to see where I've come. We still haven't talked about goals yet with my coach yet, but I'm really hoping that this year I'll be able to break a 4 hour. It might be a little lofty, but I'll be talking to my coach more about it, and we'll see how training goes to see if that's actually realistic. So that's week 2. Really exciting because it's early enough where I can start implementing all these new gear and trying new things. But it's also getting back outside and needing to remember to bring my tailwind, bring my fueling, because I definitely felt it on my long run by not having tailwind or the electrolytes that I needed while it was super humid out. But thankfully I did have a gel, so that did help. But anyway, that's it for week 2, and I'll be back here with week 3 when it's all completed. See ya.